Ever wondered how to grow a vibrant orchid in your apartment, even in the temperate zone? Welcome to the fascinating world of orchids, known for their striking beauty and diversity. Contrary to popular belief, these exotic blooms can thrive indoors, adding a splash of tropical allure to your living space. This video will unravel the mystery of indoor orchid cultivation, guiding you through the process of nurturing these stunning plants in your apartment, even in the temperate zone. Ready to transform your apartment into a mini tropical paradise? Let's dive in. First things first, choosing the right orchid is crucial. Now, we have a myriad of orchid species out there, but there are certain types better suited for indoor growth in a temperate zone apartment. Take, for instance, the Phalaenopsis, more charmingly known as the moth orchid. With its elegant, long-lasting blooms, it makes for an excellent houseplant. Then there's the Dendrobium, a more exotic choice, yet equally captivating with its vibrant colors and varied flower forms. But remember, the type of orchid is just half the story. The other half is about choosing a healthy orchid from a reputable source. Look for vibrant green leaves, robust roots, and signs of new growth. These are the telltale signs of a healthy, happy orchid, and do refrain from impulse buying, no matter how tempting. A sickly orchid, however beautiful, can be a challenge even for seasoned growers. So choose wisely and ensure your orchid is healthy to start with. Now that you have your orchid, it's time to create the perfect environment for it to flourish. Like any living being, orchids thrive under specific conditions, and in this case, the key factors are temperature, light, and humidity. Temperature first. Orchids typically thrive in temperatures between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, dipping slightly cooler at night. This makes them ideal for indoor living in temperate zones. If your apartment gets a bit chilly, consider investing in a small space heater to maintain a consistent temperature. Next, let's talk about light. Orchids adore light, but not too much direct sunlight. Placing your orchid near a north or east-facing window is often ideal. This provides plenty of natural light without the harsh midday sun that can cause damage. Last but not least, humidity. Orchids originate from tropical environments where humidity is high. To replicate this in an apartment, use a humidifier or simply place a tray of water near your plant. The evaporating water will increase the humidity around your orchid, providing that tropical feel. Remember, balance is key. Overheating, overexposure to light, or excessive humidity can all be detrimental. Monitor your plant closely and adjust these factors as needed. It's a bit like a dance, finding the perfect rhythm for your orchid to grow. With the right conditions, your orchid will be well on its way to blooming beautifully. Watering and feeding, two essential aspects of orchid care. When it comes to hydrating your orchid, a less is more approach is key. Orchids, unlike most plants, do not thrive in overly damp conditions. In fact, they prefer their roots to dry out between waterings. So, rather than sticking to a rigid watering schedule, get to know your orchid. Feel the potting medium. If it's dry, it's time for a drink. Feeding, on the other hand, requires a more regular regimen. Orchids benefit greatly from a balanced orchid fertilizer. A good rule of thumb is to feed your orchid every 2 weeks during the growing season and once a month during the off-season. This provides the nutrients necessary for your orchid to flourish and bloom. Remember, overwatering is the quickest way to kill an orchid, so be cautious. Like any plant, orchids can face a few problems. But don't worry, we've got solutions. One common issue is root rot, which often occurs due to overwatering. If you notice your orchid's roots turning brown or mushy, it's time to take action. Remove the orchid from its pot and trim off the damaged roots. Then, repot the orchid in fresh, well-draining potting mix. Next, let's talk about pests. Mealybugs and spider mites can be a nuisance. If you spot tiny white cotton-like clusters or small red spiders on your orchid, it's a sign you've got pests. A simple solution is to wipe the plant with a soft cloth soaked in a mixture of mild dish soap and water. Repeat this every few days until the pests are gone. Remember, careful observation and consistent care are key to managing these problems. With these tips, you're well equipped to grow a thriving orchid in your apartment.